I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Well, as we're coming up on spring, we should have Spring Kittenn on, and we do. Hi.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. I do appreciate it. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
All right. I suppose I'll do my little intro whenever people rate me.
There you go.
Hi, I'm Spring. I'm a deer cat variety VTuber. I like to sing, I like to draw and animate, and I like to play games with my friends.
So you're all over the place. You like doing all sorts of things.
I am all over the place.
Yes. And just a reminder, we will have a bunch of links on the description for the video, so you can check out what Spring has to offer. What got you into VTubing?
So, honestly, I was just bored one day. But I've always wanted to do something that was content creation of some sort, and I thought PNG tubing was pretty cool. It was nice that you didn't have to pay like all that money for being a VTuber.
Yeah.
And I could just make my own model. So I did that, and for a little bit it wasn't that serious. I just played games with my friends, and we just had fun for that mostly. And then after graduation, I spent a month or so researching VTubing and just the space. And I found it very fascinating. I thought it was really fun. And so I started doing it, and I've fallen in love with it ever since.
So you did a month worth of research?
Yeah. It was fun.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
That's some work there, boy. But
I mean, it was work, but it was fun work. So,
yeah.
And it kind of distracted me from current events that were happening in my life. So
yeah, well, that's always a good thing sometimes.
Yeah.
But so you found it entertaining, you found it comfortable, or all of that?
I suppose it is a mix of all of that. It was a nice way to for a creative outlet, I suppose. That's how I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I started growing in numbers, I wanted to provide people a space to just, be themselves and find just somewhere to hang out and be comfortable. That is the thing that I like to do most. It's like hanging out with my friends,
yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, it's a nice vibe to have all the way around. And when you discover that, you kind of want to keep it as much as possible. And
Exactly.
it's like keeping a good place clean, that sort of thing. I was a bachelor for a long time, and I never had that. So
A bachelor.
Yeah, I never kept that clean. And now I'm married.
I'm sorry to hear.
Yeah. Oh no, well that's a typical thing, especially during the 80s. When it was going on. But so it really appealed to you, and so was it easy for you to make the transition into it once you got the microphone and everything ready to go?
Well, the microphone was actually a little bit later. I went into it with a headset, as I do. Oh, as most people do, actually, because I wasn't sure if I was going to stick around and do it, but
Right.
it started getting more serious since I didn't have a lot of things I was doing. I just graduated, and you know how things are with the job market, so I didn't really have a job at the time.
Yeah.
So I just went into it and did everything that I could to make sure that I was successful, I suppose, or at least have fun with it.
Yeah. Well, always have fun first.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm having a lot of fun, so now I want to make it successful.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you got the excuse to work on it to make it successful.
Very true. I mean, now though the issue is I actually do have a full-time job, not a career per se, because I am an animator. I graduated with an animation degree, but I just have a job right now, just to get money.
Oh, folks, see, in the animation industry is really tough now to get going in.
Oh yeah, so it's rough, especially with AI coming in.
Yeah.
I have way too many opinions about that, but it's fine. Probably another day.
Yeah, well, it's for someone who isn't directly affected by it necessarily, although you are, whether you know it or not. Um, it's tough to get that perspective down, but until you see the blandness and lack of humanity in AI
Ye-
art, or you hear somebody on those commercials on YouTube, this product is a, that fake voice.
Oh, yeah. It makes me sad to hear that now. Like I never realized how much or how many advertisements there are because I actually have YouTube Premium, but
Mm.
I whenever I do hear ads, it makes me sad to hear that there's so many of them that use AI voices,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
it makes me sad.
Well, to me, that automatically means I'm never going to consider buying it because
Yeah,
if you're too cheap to hire there's nobody cheaper than a voice guy. Okay,
exactly.
well,
They already don't get paid enough.
we'll do it for
Anyone in media, it already
yeah,
doesn't get paid
yeah.
enough. So I don't know why you would already cheap out on
We'll
it.
do it for half a cheese sandwich. Okay, it's not that hard to find us. It,
Exactly. We'll do anything.
yeah, the M in media means mooch. we'll do it. We'll do what you want.
Exactly.
I tell the story that I actually lived for several days on peanuts, literally from the radio
Really?
station that were free. I took some home with me,
That's
and
impressive, honestly.
well, I didn't have any money, and I was in radio, so
Oh,
by golly,
oh man, I'm sorry.
yeah, by golly,
Tough life.
it was free, and I got my protein in, so that was good.
Hmm.
But
You know what? That is true.
yeah, so I'm partial to peanuts now, but
I never liked peanuts.
yeah, well, just don't get yourself in a situation where you have to rely on them. That's the big thing.
I will do my best not to.
Yeah. So, um, not to get too much into it, because obviously we're talking about the VTubing thing. But how tough is it for you right now, knowing that you're absolutely qualified? You've gone through all of this to do the animation thing, and the jobs just aren't there.
uh, Honestly, at this point, I've kind of accepted that that's just how it is.
Mm,
How you get jobs nowadays is mostly with connections and stuff, and it's kind of on me to not reach out to my old professors and my connections that I do have,
mm,
and just do it. But at the moment, I want to focus on VTubing. This is the thing that makes me happy right now. I'm honestly really burnt out from animation and everything. So I just want to step back for a little bit, focus on something that does make me happy,
mm.
and maybe I'll come back to it in the future because life isn't a race. Maybe things will get better in the future.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
yeah, and we don't rely on the tools to be the artistic part of things. Uh,
Yeah.
that you end up with a lot of, just bland cardboard like stuff, and as advanced as it is, you're never going to get that personal type of thing,
Exactly.
because everybody has different experiences coming in. It's kind of like VTubing. When I do these
Yeah,
interviews,
exactly.
everybody's got different ways or reasons why they're doing it, and they have different. Some are artists, some are singers, some are artists and singers, some are.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah,
it's me.
yeah. I'm pointing at the microphone at this point. Some are artists and singers, but there's so many different ways now that you can kind of show off your talents a little bit, and that's not exactly the right word, but perform for people and at least scratch that itch a little bit. Have you?
Yeah.
So have you been able to do any singing online yet?
Yes, actually.
Mm.
I did a karaoke stream
Mm.
to celebrate my 300 followers.
Yay!
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a lot, well, not a lot, but I have a fair amount of performance experience as well.
Mm-hmm.
I did choir for basically my entire like middle school and high school career, I
Mm-hmm.
guess,
Yeah.
and I did a cappella for 3 of my high school years.
Mm.
And the fun part about being in my specific high school choir is that we put on live shows.
Yeah.
So I understand how to I like arrange a show, arrange singers, and make sure to keep things running and entertaining.
Yeah.
And when I do my karaoke streams, and I'm about to do one next week on Friday, actually.
Yep. Well, check it out. Check it out. We have the links right next to us. You can hit that link on
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah. I'm also doing a debut the day before, but I'll talk
Ooh.
about that later.
Yes.
But yeah, for my karaoke streams, I like to have it not so much just for like myself, but with my community as well.
Mm,
So I like to have about 10, 14 other of my friends or other people in my community that want to join on the karaoke stream.
yeah.
I sing for two or three songs in between, and then I drag them both, like two people at a time in, and then they sing two songs each, and then sing three more, and then and then change up the pace as the show goes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just to keep it interesting for the audience as well. So it's not just me sitting there and singing to the audience. I'm keeping them engaged. And
Yeah.
that I love doing that.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be an entertainer.
You know,
And
that's a really
this lets me do this.
this is actually a very good idea, I think. And this could get a little traction if you presented it like a variety show type thing, you know.
Yeah.
If you could get yourself a weekly schedule and get a little promotional traction behind it, just this week we're going to have so and so as our guest and have them do a couple songs and then kind of do the old Johnny Carson thing with them.
I could.
Yeah, that could be really good. But you can do that. I'll let you do that. I'm not going to do it myself. I already got stuff to do. But
Oh,
it's
got lots of interviews going for you.
yeah, we're still going strong with those. Thankfully to you and a lot of folks who have trusted me with it, and I do appreciate that. Um,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
yeah, it's fun. It's fun. The So once you got involved and got into it, you studied it, you surrounded it, and you got started. Was it a smooth jump in?
I think so. I was very nervous when I first started. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but uh, it was great because I immediately found a community, or I guess more like they found me, and they were very welcoming. They were very supportive, and I to those two first three people that I met in the VTubing sphere kind of inspired the way I like to go about VTubing, I
Mm.
suppose. And it's nice. And I'm still friends. I still talk to, well, one of them I'm not friends with per se, but I do consider him one of the like people I look up to. And two of them I am friends with. So it's very nice. They're just very supportive people and they like to uplift others in their community, and I like to see it as if we're having successes, I will bring up those that are around me as well. It's not a
Excellent.
solo thing; it's an everyone thing.
Yeah, it is great, and while it's kind of similar to a broadcasting station, what you're doing,
Mm,
you're broadcasting. It was like be like a show, basically. It's similar in a way. It's also different in that broadcasting stations will compete against each other for a pie of an audience. The You don't have to compete against other people right now. The audience is still growing, and there's still an immense amount of people that can be drawn in. So you don't have to
exactly.
work against somebody to get your audience. You're pulling them in yourself, and everybody that comes in is coming back for you.
That's true.
Yeah. So I mean, has that hit you yet?
Sometimes. I don't know. The numbers do get to me sometimes, but you know it. I get reminded of that a lot when my friends and some that are just actually viewers do come back, and
Well,
it's nice.
yeah,
I love being able to talk to them in the chat.
yeah. It's a great feeling when you realize that, and it's um it's fulfilling and justifying, and it's kind of a wind beneath your wings, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, especially when I saw all the support that I got during again the 300 followers karaoke stream. That was, I think that gave me a lot of like confirmation that I do want to keep doing this.
That's great. That's great. Now, I got to ask you, now that you've done the karaoke stream, when's the cover coming out?
Whenever I can figure out how to mix and master it myself, because ooh, money is tight
Yeah,
despite me having a full-time job.
yeah. Money's
Um
tight for everybody. Yeah, whether you have a full
yeah, I
time
mean,
job or
I
two.
can save now since most of the stuff for my debut has been funded for,
Yeah,
thankfully.
yeah,
So
yeah.
at least
And
there's that.
so, have you got a song in mind?
Um, not well. Okay. Have you heard? I feel like you've talked to a lot of VTubers. I'm sure you've heard of Alien Stage.
Alien what?
Alien Stage?
Yeah, I've heard of
No.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. There's one song, Black Sorrow. I really like that song, and I might cover it
Mm,
just maybe in the future, but not now.
okay.
I also know one of my friends also wants to do um Weege, which is the newest song,
Mm,
and there's another one. Basically, alien stage songs at the moment.
mm. So you do have an idea, and it's just sitting there waiting for the right moment.
Yes, pretty much. I just have a lot of things going on right now, so I'm not able to sit down and focus on it, but
Yeah,
I'll get there.
yeah. So when I tune into one of your streams, what am I watching right now? What are you playing?
Usually I'm not playing any games as of lately. I've mostly been doing art streams.
Well, yeah,
If not art streams, then it's just me talking with my friends because I preferred interacting with the chat more
yeah.
than I do sitting there and playing games
Hmm.
because I'm streaming anyway. I might as well the chat is there to be interacted with. So
Yeah.
I prefer doing that and whenever even if I'm doing art streams, I don't ever finish anything I'm working on because I'm so busy talking to chat.
Yeah, it does. It does kind of. It'd be really tough for me if I was doing it to be able to concentrate on something and concentrate on more than one or two people in chat at the same time. My brain doesn't work that way. Uh,
Oh, that's fair.
yeah, and it's for me when I was doing radio, it was always just me talking into them. Sometimes there's a guest and you work that way and phone calls and stuff. But when you have to look over and read something and then talk something and then read something and then try to play a game or do whatever you're doing, too many hands, too many brain, and I don't have.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I think I've gotten used to it because I did grow up playing a lot of video games and most of them were competitive.
no,
Um, yeah,
yeah,
I don't anymore because they make me too upset nowadays, and I stay away from it for my mental health. So,
I've got a coworker that plays Fortnite.
oh no.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, hey, I play Fortnite for fun.
yeah,
I don't take it seriously ever, and that's the only thing I'll ever play that's slightly competitive
yeah.
because I can't take it seriously.
Oh, she's very competitive. She's like up till 5 o'clock in the morning playing it every once in a while, and
That's insane.
she's just the nicest person in the world, and she she played me back a little recording of what she's like when she plays it.
Oh no,
Like, wow. I'm
that's
glad
kind of funny.
I'm glad you get it all out during that. And that was like that was like an 8-year-old you were yelling at. Gee, me Christmas.
I mean, sometimes you have to get your anger out somewhere.
That's
At
right.
least it's in a video
Yeah, not
game.
at me. I'm glad for that. But the
Exactly.
the art streams. Have you always been an artist?
Yes, I have
Mm,
actually.
yeah. Is it something that you self-taught, or did you take some classes, or what?
Well, at first it was self-taught. I was very into the Warrior Cat series around
Hmm.
the 3rd grade.
Yeah.
So this is very long past history. And I just drew and then around 4th or 5th grade I re- I realized that you can animate on MS Paint. So I started doing that too and they weren't great, but it was a start.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a great start if you're able to do that young. I mean, um,
Yeah.
it's really with that you're learning the building blocks of animation anyway to start with.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And so, even from like at a young age, I've always loved 2D animation. I've always studied it, and well, no, I didn't know I was studying it, but I was very much studying it. And so, for a while, I did stay away from art because I was focusing on academics and life, and family just wasn't supportive about it because it's not practical and it's not going to get you anywhere. And I mean, to be honest, I don't think anything is getting me anywhere because the job market is ruthless right now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But
you couldn't have thought of that when you started because it was the job market was
yeah,
good when you
exactly.
started. You know, it was.
Yeah, no. I
Mhm.
started out as a computer science major in college actually. And
Mm.
now look at look at me and my friends in comp sci. I
Mhm.
might have graduated from animation, but we all still do not have jobs in our career
Yeah,
field.
yeah.
So,
It's like pat on the head. Thank you for all of that. Now we're moving on to something else. But
yeah.
uh,
But for art though, yeah, it was an on and off thing, but I went back to into it for college and I'm back into it. It makes me happy.
yeah.
I rediscovered the passion for it during the Texas snowstorm of
Mm.
2021
Oh,
when we had no Wi-Fi.
yeah,
I just couldn't do anything, so I just drew in my dorm room
yeah,
and I was like, this is great. I
yeah.
love this. I should do this again.
So what would you characterize your style as?
um Well, nowadays it's semi-realistic, cartoonish,
Mm.
I guess. But
Mm.
it's heavily inspired by the typical VTubing style that you would see.
Mm-hmm.
But it is definitely more cartoon than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's you can do a lot of things with that. I mean, it's and especially if you're to the animated bent, that would probably be better. Is it tougher to
Yep,
is it tougher to animate the more realistic look or the cartoon look?
definitely the more realistic look.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't have a lot of experience with anime style animation.
Mm-hmm.
I like the simplest simple stuff. Because I did learn 3D animation rather than
Ooh,
2D.
wow.
Um and I'm very rusty when it comes to 2D, but I still understand the principles.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have the time to practice.
If I don't know anything about it. I don't. I mean, I just know a little bit, but certainly not enough to be able to carry on a cogent conversation about it. But
That's
if,
okay.
as far as animation goes, how surprised would I be by the complexity of it? Um, I mean, I'd say, oh, you just put something down on a computer screen and it goes. How much more complex is it?
That depends. Are you asking 2D or 3D?
Well, one then the other.
Okay. For 2D, there are multiple types. Oh, not multiple types, but that you could. No, definitely multiple types. So there's, the frame by frame animation.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that everyone knows. You can do that traditionally on paper with oh, it's been a while. I with all the tools and stuff for it.
Right.
Um and that one personally takes a lot because you have to draw each individual frame and
Mm.
that takes a while.
I don't even know how they
Um
did it back
you
in the
can
old days.
exactly. And then I mean you can also do frame by frame on the computer, digital art, which is a little easier because you can do copy and paste unlike traditional,
Hmm.
which is great. Um but there's also puppet animation or things basically with rigging. Um it has to do with vector animations and you have to maneuver the puppets and add keyframes to those and it's I don't have a lot of experience with that one, especially the 2D puppet animation,
Hmm.
but I wish I did.
Yeah.
Um
It sounds like there's a lot of computer programming type thing in that.
there is.
Yeah.
I did have to take programming classes for my animation degree, which is crazy,
Mm.
by the way, because I left computer science because I didn't want to code, and then I went back into it.
By the way,
And I had to code.
you're gonna have to code. Oh, damn. Okay.
You know, I can't win.
Yes. But then the 3D is obviously a different animal.
Oh, definitely. It is very focused on keyframing, and it's basically the same as puppet animation,
Hmm.
but you also work with the different stages of it.
Hmm.
So there's a pipeline for that. This is the one I'm most educated on because this is what I went to college for. So you start off with making layouts. There's layout artists and stuff, and so you basically a rough draft of the animation, and it's not fully fluid. It's very blocky, and you just to get the idea of where you want the characters and stuff to go.
Mhm.
And then you add the frames in between, you clean it up, make sure it flows well and flows correctly, and make sure the physics are right. And I like to work with a graph editor. So there's a graph editor to these things. There is math.
Mm.
Um and then you just drag the points on there, and it looks like a mess when you're working with a complicated model.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have a screenshot for you. I
Yeah.
could,
Well, that's okay. You just broke a
if I
lot of
can find
people's
it.
hearts, by the way, by saying there is math.
There is math to it sometimes.
Yeah, there's math, there's
um
geometry, there's a lot of things that go along with it.
there's a lot of things, and you have to understand like physics and
Mm.
how things move, because we will notice if your eyes are well trained, we are going to notice if it's very floaty or if it's not realistic. I guess if it's stylized, that's very understandable, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
If you're drawing Popeye is one thing, but if you're if you're drawing,
Exactly. Rubber hose is not the same as realistic, which
yeah,
is what most people are looking for when you're looking at 3D animation.
yeah. Popeye in 3D
Uh,
animation would be pretty rough.
well, it will work. People do a lot of rubber hose 3D now.
Oh
It's
wow.
pretty cool. I like it. It's a mixture of both 2D techniques into 3D, and I like that. I like that people are experimenting with it.
I'm waiting for the black and white 3D Betty Boop cartoon to show up.
When is it coming out?
Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see it. Um, so when you are playing a game, does the does the artistry in the game um, alter how you enjoy it? If it's good, do you enjoy it a little more than if it's not so good?
Yeah.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hmm?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, I'm very visually. I need to be visually appealed, I guess.
Mm,
I don't know how to word it,
yeah.
but if it doesn't look good, even if the like graphics are, I don't know, like blocky, like Terraria would be, or if Minecraft, like
Mm.
I can't play normal Minecraft unless you have shaders on. That's
Ah.
the kind of person I am. It has to look pretty for me to enjoy it.
Well, I can understand that. I can understand what would be off-putting for some, and especially if you're an artistic person. Um, it's like working in a different medium. Just because you're an
Yeah.
artist doesn't mean you know how to, sculpt. Uh, I mean, it's
Oh yeah, no, I
yeah,
do not.
yeah. I mean, if you know how to do pencil drawing, and it doesn't mean you're going to be able to paint a masterpiece. Um, there's different ways to do it, and it's I can see that happening for you too. So if you have a game that is going well, but you see a place where you could have done it better, or you had a different idea, does that affect your play?
It doesn't affect it, but I will point it out. And I that has happened before. I've noticed animation errors, or when objects or hair are clipping through
Mm,
the characters, or um, something is floating, or an animation isn't animating correctly.
yeah.
I will point it out.
Now, do you point it out and laugh at it? Do you point it out and go, "Oh, that's terrible! I can't believe they let that happen."
Well, that depends on the game. Sometimes I laugh at it. Most of the time I laugh at it.
Yeah,
But uh but then I explain why I complain about it.
yeah,
It's not I don't do it out of malice
mhm,
ever.
yeah,
I just like to learn, just see what's the thing that doesn't work,
yeah,
and make sure that I don't do it.
yeah,
It's a learning experience.
yeah. Now, with your background now in your education and what you're doing now, if your ideal animation job came up, what project would you want to be on?
Ooh, I would love to be in feature animation of
Mm,
some sort. I want to help create a movie.
mm. So 3D movie or 2D?
Hmm, that's tough.
Mm. I asked the tough
Some
question.
maybe something like Arcane, where they mix a lot of 2D 2D styles and techniques into the 3D
Hmm.
work. I think
Yeah,
something like that would be very fun for me.
yeah. It would stretch you a little bit, but you'd have
Oh
fun doing
yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah. That's the art. That's the mark of an artist there. Yeah,
I like the challenge. There's
yeah,
nothing wrong with the challenge because it helps you grow.
yeah, yeah. That would be a lot of fun, I imagine. Something like that. I mean, if you watch some of the older computer graphic movies, the animation,
Oh, yeah.
ah, I see. Does that make you hurl?
It doesn't make me hurl per se, but I can't watch it. it it's very, what was the word that my friends used for one of my my friends' Minecraft builds? Archaic?
Yeah,
I
archaic is a good word for it. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it because it is very advanced for what they had during the times, and
Yeah.
it is history. It's animation history.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't sit through it.
I would, being an old timer, I can, I would rather watch the old Hanna-Barbera reusing all the animation things than watch that. It's just off-putting to me for some reason.
It's very uncanny. If
Yeah.
that's the word you're looking
Yeah,
for.
that's a really good word for it. It's realistic enough to be unrealistic.
Yeah, it's
And
just in the middle, where it's a
yeah.
little uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, uncomfortable. Yeah, very uncomfortable. Some of those movies, like, oh, what was the idea that you were trying to come up with here to do
I mean, there
something?
was a reason why Toy Story was toys and
Yeah,
not
yeah.
people centric,
Oh, and
because
I
they
never thought
didn't have
about
the
that.
technology to make the humans look realistic enough, so they wanted to focus on things that looked like toys.
Oh, I don't know why I didn't think about that, but your perspective makes sense. I mean, really, you look at the more human-like toys, and they do have the toy motions rather than a regular human type stuff. And it's I okay. I'm gonna share that one with the missus because I say, hey, guess what I found out, hon? Uh, but
It's
it's
very fun. I love learning fun things about animation because
yeah.
my professors were, they are in the industry still.
Hmm.
So they shared a lot of secrets. Well, I guess not always secrets, but fun facts to learn.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was Jurassic World.
Hmm.
Um uh, don't tell my professor I said this, but but apparently the lion that was used to, when it was roaring against the with like fighting against the T-Rex or
Hmm.
something like that. I don't remember which scene it was exactly.
Hmm.
Um he was in charge of that, and he animated everything basically. And they didn't have the lion that they originally were going to use, was going to be a real lion, but the lion wouldn't roar. So they told him, "Hey, can you animate a lion right now? Can you animate this within this week?" And so they just gave him the Scar, like the 2019's Lion King,
Right.
the remake.
Yeah.
That's the lion in that movie is Scar from the Lion King.
That's brilliant.
I know. I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, it's like I've seen that before. Where was that? Oh yeah, there we go.
Where is that lion from?
Well, that you look at all the old Walt Disney classics, and you see where they reused animation basically
Oh
for
yeah.
some of those scenes. And I can understand back then because boy, that was a lot of work putting that together back then. I imagine.
So much work.
And when I
It's
look,
still a lot of work today.
yeah, I look at some of those cartoons, especially the Nat Fleischer ones, um, that like the Superman real cartoons from way back.
Oh.
They're the animation is amazing for these things. There's a lot of realistic movement for Superman, but um, these people move it's very fluid, which is something you wouldn't expect out of more primitive technology. But like the early
I mean,
Popeye
primitive
cartoons now
technology
too.
is also a very valid medium.
Yeah,
there's a lot of amazing animators that I mean still work to this day, but they started out with like working with Disney and the traditional animation too.
Yeah. Oh, it's something to see. The fluidity of what they were able to do just by drawing it. I
Oh yeah,
see.
no, it's amazing.
And there's one particular one, Popeye and Sinbad, I think it is, where you see a giant bird flying away, but you see all of the feathers in it going as it flies away.
Oh,
Like,
that's
whoa.
probably beautiful.
Yeah, it's like, how did you do that? It'd be tough to even
A lot of work.
oh, a lot of work. I imagine they were paid well.
I hope so.
Yeah. But it's really cool to see, and it's great to know that there are people who still want to do this today. And I really wish that was more open for you because we'd get a chance to see you'd be able to get innovative and show us some more techniques and invent more techniques. They're really shooting themselves in the
Exactly.
foot with this.
Animation is a very fast growing field, and I wish I was more active in it,
Mm,
but it I wouldn't be surprised in like if 2 years from now when or if I no I'm gonna go back to it when I go back to it eventually things will have changed and grown since I graduated,
yeah.
and I'm gonna have to relearn a lot of things.
Mm, yeah. But hopefully by then there'll be enough jobs for everybody to go into.
Hopefully there
Yeah.
are enough jobs, they just choose not to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they used to say in radio too. Yeah, we've got a lot of openings. We're just not going to fill them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's usually how it is for every job
yeah,
nowadays.
yeah,
Actually, they
yeah.
don't like paying people to learn.
No, they certainly do not. But I tell you what, I have absolutely enjoyed talking with you, um,
Oh yeah, no, this has been great.
and
Thank you for having
and
me.
learning so much about this animation stuff. And I really do. It's very obvious to me in talking to you how much you enjoy it and how much it's been a part of your life.
Oh
And
yeah,
I'm really rooting for you to get that opportunity
thank you.
to
I appreciate that.
use it and show us what you got because I got an idea you got some really good ideas in there to to show us some more stuff that we don't know yet. Um, I really hope that you get that chance. Uh, we're gonna
In
have
time, in time.
in time. We're gonna have all the links we've got for you up on the description for this interview. Do you take commissions right now?
Currently they're on wait list.
Yeah.
Because I'm focusing on getting stuff for my debut, which
Hmm.
is March 20th,
Yeah.
1 p.m. Central Daylight
Yeah. We got to talk about
time.
that. We got to talk about that. So the official debut is coming up on March 20th, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm very excited for it. I've been sitting on it for months, but it is going to be the first day of spring, which
Oh,
is, yes,
perfect.
very on brand for me.
Very good. Very good. Very good. And you got a whole bunch of stuff planned for us?
Yeah, well, I don't know yet. But the first day, I am going to be doing a PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to be talking about a bunch of the new stuff that comes in, just explaining more about myself, more about my lore,
Mm-hmm.
what to expect, well, what more to expect from me. And then I'll just do a bunch of talking, a bunch of interacting with chat, and talking with my group.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have a VTuber group
Yeah.
called AXP, which is Aether Experience.
Mm.
Um, we're a group of friends that just wanted to make things, and suddenly we're here. We're all VTubers now.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're enjoying yourself, and you got at least this outlet to let some of that immense talent out. And
Very
we do
true.
appreciate it very much. Good luck on that opening, on that debut. Um,
Thank you. I
and
appreciate
I don't
that.
think you're gonna need it because you got all the talent in the world. But eh,
Man, I wish.
I think it'll be fine. But please come back again soon, okay?
Oh, of course. Just let me know. I would gladly come back.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.